Hey dear, Zinzi here, and I can't believe it, but 2023 is almost over, so I want to go over which new manga releases I'm most excited to read next year. Starting off with a survival horror called Gannibal by Masaaki Ninomiya, and this one is about a police officer who's stationed to a rural countryside village where the previous police officer mysteriously disappeared, and at first, all the villagers seem super kind and welcoming. However, one day he gets a call that someone's been murdered, and when he arrives to the crime scene, he discovers that there's human teeth marks on the victim. And he begins to realize, like light bulbs go off, that this village is not as innocent as they appear. And I absolutely adore isolated small communities. And I've seen a few reviews mention folk horror might be involved, so this one looks so up my alley. And next we have a historical manga called The Blue Wolves of Mibu by Tsuyoshi Yasuda. And this one chronicles the founding of an elite group of swordsmen known as the Shinsengumi, who are very famous. They fought during a period of political turmoil, and you might know them from Gintama or the Otome series called Hakuoki, but this is their backstory, and if you're a history buff like me, you might enjoy this series as well. Next we have a historical fantasy called Steel of Celestial Shadows by Daruma Matsuura, and this one centers around a samurai who finds himself cursed. He repels all metal, which is really unfortunate for him. It's helpful in some ways because enemies' blades can't hit him, but he can no longer hold his own sword, so he is going through an existential crisis. And this is by the same mangaka who did the thriller Kasane, which I really loved as well. And next we have a dystopian garbage punk manga coming into print called Gachiakuta by Urana. And this one centers around a boy who's framed for murder, so he's sent into exile to this floating junkyard like city, and it kind of reminds me of like Meteor City, and I love dystopian stories, so this one sounds really interesting to me. Okay, next we have a supernatural battle manga called The Tree of Life by Masasumi Kakizaki. And this one is about a ex-prisoner who's released from jail, and he's determined to avenge his dead wife and child, and he's willing to do whatever it takes, even if it costs him his own soul and humanity. And just based off of the cover and a few of the panels, there might even be cosmic horror elements, which I'm really excited about. And next we have probably my most highly anticipated manga release, and that is Full Night by Kasumi Yasuda. And this one is a eco-horror dystopian that takes place in a sunless future world. And in order to create oxygen, the government offers a deal where they will slowly bioengineer you and turn you into a plant in exchange for money. And this one looks absolutely fascinating. I read the first chapter in Japanese, and I'm so glad that we have it now in English because it is so my jam. I am like obsessed with eco-horror and the idea of people like transforming into flowers. Like I did a whole video on that, but yeah, I am so excited for this one. Okay, next we have a fashion drama called Bless by Yukino Sonoyama. And the story centers around a shy, awkward, tall girl with freckles, and she's scouted by a makeup artist, and as she's learning how to model, she starts slowly coming out of her shell and gaining confidence. And I just absolutely adore stories like these. Like it kind of sounds like Paradise Kiss, so if it's anything like that, I'll probably adore this one too. And next we have a slice of life that's a bit unusual. It's called Veil by Kotteri, and this one is told through short vignettes, and it focuses on the romance between a police officer and a blind woman, and the art style just looks so charming and beautiful. It almost reminds me of like a old-fashioned vintage Parisian fashion ad. So I am really excited for this one. It looks really unique and one of a kind. And I also had to give an honorable mention to Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You by JINUSHI. And this one centers around a salaryman who's straight-laced, but he smokes sometimes, and on one of his smoke breaks, he realizes that a clerk that he knows is secretly punk. Like, she has this whole entire demeanor, she has piercings, she's like a completely different person. And they start connecting, and it's just kind of like a quirky, offbeat romance about opposites attracts and like getting to know others. Alright, those are my top picks for 2024. If I missed any of the manga you're looking forward to next year, let me know down in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching and happy holidays, everyone!